Hello and welcome to No There's Only Trash Here podcast, episode 82. The date today is the 10th of May 2015. So we're back after the week break, and of course, in typical No There's Only Trash Here podcast, I'm feeling a bit poorly once more. So I was hoping you would say like, oh, that's so sad.
No, sorry. I was too busy thinking about what you said. You said the week break. Did you say there'd be a week break in the last podcast?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Alright, I thought you were just addressing it like, yeah, there was a break.
The
week break.
Whatever.
That thing we had. But no, alright, if you said that's fine. I forgot.
Yeah, I did mention it.
Well,
thank you, Joe. You're too kind with your sweet words.
Why was I clapping for as well?
Just wait.
The clap was unnecessary.
Yeah, no one ahs and claps. It's not something that I see that often in my life.
No. Sorry.
I can't think of a scenario where it would be appropriate. Maybe like a cute dog doing a trick. I think
yes,
you could
I
then
was thinking
ah
a dog
clap.
as well. I was exactly thinking a dog.
Well, like a little dog doing a weird, like, it stands up on its legs like it's a person.
Yeah, it's got to be cute but impressive. So, yeah.
Which you could also, like, silently nod and be like, yes, impressive. You've done well, young mutt.
So it's a clap, a nod, and an ah.
Yeah.
That could also be for like a baby. Like if a baby did something.
Ah, nah.
Like if a baby did a cartwheel or something.
I don't think that's really an ah moment. That's like, wow, I did not know babies had the upper body strength or the coordination to do that. That's like
so
a whoa.
that'd be a ooh.
Wow. That'd be take a picture or something along those lines.
Oh, we need the little sound thing again. A little
No.
soundboard.
We had that
Okay.
meeting where we agreed that it would never return.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
That was a rough meeting.
Mm.
You
So-
were getting very heated about the sound effects, but I wasn't having it.
Oh, really? Is that how that went?
Yep.
Ah, completely forgot about that.
Yeah, well, you also forgot about the week break thing. So.
Oh wait, I was drunk. That's the thing.
Yes, you were.
That's
No,
why.
you smashed a couple of bottles, I think.
Yes, it's all coming back now. Yeah.
You're like,
Sorry.
I want the dun 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 sound.
I
Wait,
must
was
have it in
that
my life.
it? That wasn't it, was it?
It was Austin Powers. No.
Ah.
Yes. It was something. So many of them, I can't remember.
No.
Again, drunk.
Again, you were a little out of it. A little angry, a little drunk. As you normally are on the podcast.
Yeah. You know me too well.
Joe's temper. We all know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so do you want to talk about some news?
What type of news?
Well, just video game news. I thought we would actually talk about video games this week for a change.
Okay.
We could talk more Avengers if you want.
No.
That film.
No.
Quickly about that film though. I haven't really heard much about it. Is that just me? Like the Avengers, the first one was a big film, a big event. Everyone talked about it. After seeing it, it's like whatever. Yep, that's that film done.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just because the first one was the Avengers. They're all together, and now it's the Avengers. And also, it didn't. I mean, obviously, it's made a crap ton of money, but it made less money than people thought because it coincided with all that sports stuff. So maybe that's overshadowed it a bit.
What? Wait, what sports stuff?
There was all this, I don't know, American sports stuff, and then they had that fight, that boxing, Mayweather, that and all that sort of stuff. So it didn't have its own spotlight as much this time, I think.
Well, there was nothing else in the cinemas coming out at the same time, so I can't imagine the boxing really had that big of an impact.
I don't know. I think it did. I've heard a lot more about the boxing than the Avengers. Let's put it that way.
Well, I think
And
the
I don't even
boxing
follow that
was
crap.
boxing was an event. The Avengers 2, I don't think it has anything to do with the boxing, but with the Avengers 2, it was just like the next Marvel film. When really the Avengers films, I think they wanted them to be like the big films that split up the phases and are the ones that everyone's really excited about. But I just feel like this was just another Marvel film, and that was that.
Okay, I think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, sure. We can meet in the middle, I suppose. I don't want you getting violent and drunk again.
Well, don't tempt me then. I have an emergency bottle down here, ready.
Just in case.
It's like behind some glass. I have to smash it.
Smash it with another bottle.
Yes, smash the bottle, then smash that to get the other bottle. Exactly.
I've only had 2 bottles. I need another one.
I'll just go back to my coffee. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Irish coffee. That's fine. I understand.
God damn it! How did you know?
Well, it's either that or Russian. So I took a guess. But yeah. So first thing, there's this game, and it's called Splatoon. And I don't know if I've actually mentioned it before on the podcast, this game, but it's basically like, it's a new IP from Nintendo. And this year, Nintendo, I don't think have any like major hits on the way, like now that Zelda's been delayed. So instead for the Wii U, I think we have like these smaller titles that still look good, but aren't like, they're no Mario Kart or Smash Bros. So instead of Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Zelda, or just normal Mario, we have Kirby, Star Fox, Yoshi's Woolly World, and Splatoon. But I think it looks really good anyway. So basically, what happened is that they had a Splatoon Direct where they gave out a load of information, none of it that important, and then they did like a beta where at set times you could install the beta, then play it for an hour, just to test out the servers, I suppose. And I played one of them for one of the hours, and it's really fun. It's a really cool little game. What it is that it's an online multiplayer game where it's 4 versus 4, and the whole point is that everyone has paint guns, and you're supposed to just cover the whole arena with paint. And at the very end, whoever has covered most of the arena wins. But then there's like small stuff where you can turn into a squid in your own paint, and then you can hide and you can travel quicker that way. And then you also got like bombs and all that kind of stuff. But those are the 2 main gimmicks. You're covering everything with paint, and then you can turn into a squid. And it's like a really cool, fun little game. Like, it's definitely the Nintendo version of an online multiplayer shooting game, but the thing that I found interesting is that it definitely had that feel of being an online multiplayer shooter, which might sound odd, because of course it's very different from Call of Duty and Battlefield, but I had the same sense of playing online with people and it being a shooter. I don't know, like, yeah, you can put cutesy graphics over it, but I think those sort of games are always going to have a similar sort of feel. But this one was still cool. I had fun playing it. I guess I don't really have that much to say about the game apart from the fact that it's just fun. It's just one of those you pick up. It's cool. Yeah, you pick up, you play it, you have some fun with it, and that's about it. It's not a deep game. It's not like a blow you out of the water game. But if you want to play some sort of online shooter, but you don't like the idea of the big esports scene, racist chat, all that kind of stuff, like all the horrible stuff that's now been associated with online FPSs and online shooting games, this is a really nice alternative, a really nice fun way of doing it, and just like, you can just enjoy it. Just have fun.
Are you going to get the game?
I think I am. I think it's only 29 quid on Amazon to pre-order. So I think with that, that's just enough to kind of persuade me to pick it up and give it a go. And I'll be honest, even though I played it for an hour straight, afterwards I was like, man, I want to play a bit more Splatoon. I want to kind of play a little bit more. The only thing that puts me off slightly is that during the Splatoon Direct, they announced that there's actually only 5 multiplayer maps in the game, and there's only like 2 modes. And their plan is that they're going to release a ton of content for free, but in post-launch. So the months afterwards, there's going to be a load of new content, which is going to really beef up the game or whatever. Which, yeah, it's going to be free, so I can't complain. But at launch, it means that only 5 multiplayer maps? That's extremely lacking. That is like nothing. You're going to be playing the same maps over and over and over if you really want to get into the game. And yeah, there's a
maps?
How are the maps, did you say? The maps are fine. There was only 2 in the beta, but the maps are fine. I got no complaints about the actual maps themselves. I think it's just a case of only 5 of them is so little. Like, it's so bare compared to anything else out on the market. So when they do release free content, it's going to be like amazing. Like, whoa, now there's 7 maps, which again, even if they release 2 more, soon after the launch, it's still like, that's not that many at all, because the games aren't even that long. The games are quite short. I can't remember, there is a time limit on it. So it's like, once there's been enough time, that's it. But I think it might be like 5 minutes. Maybe even less than that. So if you play a game for an hour, you're definitely going to be playing the same map multiple times, which I think is just bad. So it seems like when the game first comes out, it's going to be more single player. You play through the single player, you check that out. I don't know how long that's going to be, but that's what you're mostly going to play. A bit of multiplayer, but then in the upcoming months is when the multiplayer is going to more develop, and then you're going to start playing that, which I would be a hypocrite if I said I was okay with it. Because the big thing I said about Titanfall is that it was half a game when it launched. So I kind of have to have the same attitude with Splatoon, that it definitely is going to be half a game when it comes out. But saying that, they are releasing the content for free. The game isn't as expensive as Titanfall was. It is only 29 quid at launch, and there is actually a single player mode. So it doesn't annoy me. It would just be nice if it's like 5. That's so little. I just want a few more than 5, and I would have been a bit more happy about buying it. But I'm probably still going to buy it anyway.
They should have a make your own level thing.
Ooh,
shouldn't they? Isn't that a great idea? Hire me, Nintendo.
Come up with these ideas.
I think I've had that come up before. Yeah. I'm sure I've I've said hire me before in this podcast for something or other.
Has it not happened?
Not yet. I don't know why.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. What is single player like?
I'm not too sure. I think it's just a few levels, maybe a few puzzles, a bit of platforming, that sort of thing. I don't think it's just you shooting a ton of enemies on multiplayer maps. I think it's actual unique levels, and I think it's mostly puzzle based. Because the whole point in Splatoon is that, you can kill the other team members, but your focus is meant to be just on covering the map. Which, of course, killing the team members helps out with, but that's your objective. So I think with the single player, they want to kind of stick to that a bit. So there's enemies, but I think it's mostly, that's not the focus. You're not just shooting through a load of, enemies.
Okay. Well, yeah, seems okay. I mean, when I watched that video, it just seemed nice. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's not going to set the world on fire, but you can pick it up and have fun, and I guess that's the Nintendo way. Like Mario Kart 8 is very much the same thing, and I think they try to do the same thing with Smash Bros to a lesser extent, where with Mario Kart, you give someone a controller, and they have some fun, no matter what. So Splatoon is Nintendo's version of the online shooter, where you can pick it up and just enjoy it, and that's that.
Yeah. How is it in terms of, I know it's not really a massive deal anymore. Maybe it was when FPSs were kind of big, especially on Xbox. But how is, teamwork? Because you'll be playing with random people, I guess.
Well, there's 4 different classes. I think they plan to have more, and each have their advantages. So you got the standard shooter, who's pretty standard. Standard sort of thing, and that's who I always play, because that's the sort of character I always play in shooting games, the standard assault, normal marine soldier guy. Then you also got this roller, which covers a large amount of ground, but it has no range, because it's not actually a gun, but it can instant kill people if they hit them. Then you got one that shoots at a large range. Then you got another one which is a pistol sort of thing. So yeah, everyone kind of has different classes and can play different roles, but in terms of teamwork, it's very minimal. There's no voice chat or anything like that, and with the beta you couldn't party up. That's something they're adding in August, where you can do party matchmaking, like in 2 months after the game comes out. They're then adding in that support where you can join with people you know and then jump into a game, but that won't be there initially. So it seems like they're not really going for teamwork. This doesn't feel like a game that is supposed to be played as a team, which is a little odd because you have the different classes, so if you are able to coordinate with the different classes, then that would really help you out. And also, it's 4v4, so there's not that many of you. If it was 8v8, everyone can just kind of do what they want to do and it all kind of works out. But when there's only 4 of you, if say everyone's using the splat roller, which is the one where it covers a lot of ground and it's very close, then you're just not going to get anything done. And you can't change classes in the middle of a round, so you just kind of have to, you get thrown together and you just have to figure it out. Which I think is fun as it is, it's just, yeah, it definitely doesn't have that element of working with other people. You just kind of do your own thing. If you see someone, you try and stick with them, but you have to independently decide for yourself that I'm going to try and help this person out. Because you can say, there are like set things you can say above your head. In the beta there was only 2, but I'm assuming there's going to be more. And in the beta you could say nice, and you could say help me out. So yeah, there's that, but nice. That's it. Yeah.
Does it do like a little thumbs up as well? Nice.
No, it just says nice above your head.
Oh, there's a thumbs up.
It could do with one, absolutely. But yeah, so I hope they have more kind of commands or just stuff you can select for yourself, you know, but yeah, it doesn't have that, which is a little odd, but you know, I think it's still fun regardless.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I mentioned with the whole Mario Kart thing, I think it's going for a similar thing where you're not, with Mario Kart you would never have voice chat and be like, right, let's do this on a team or whatever. You would just pick up and play and enjoy it. And I think Splatoon is very, in a arguably too strict sense, going for that exact same feel, where it's supposed to just be anyone can pick up and play, and that's that. Of course, the thing is, what's going to happen is that there's going to be people who get way too into it, figure out all these different tactics, and then the community is going to be like shut off, and that is going to completely collapse. But until that happens, I think not going for a sense of teamwork, because you can only play with random people in general, I think Nintendo like specifically is trying to stop that, or doesn't want that to be part of the game, which is very different from other online shooters, because that's usually a big part of them. Like Battlefield has the squad modes and things like that, but you know, it's a different approach. I don't think it detracts from the fun, but yeah, I think it definitely makes it feel different, and not like in a completely positive way, because you just don't have teamwork. It's not in the game. It's just not there.
They're all noobs anyway, it's fine.
Hell yeah. I was the only good one on.
Were you really?
Well, had my moments.
That's good enough.
Yeah. I got some good kills, actually. The thing that really messed me up is the splat rollers, because they can kill you instantly. So if you go round a corner and one's there, you're done. You're just done. Because you can't squid in the other opponent's paint. You know how that is. You know how that goes, you know.
Of course.
So as soon as they get closer, you can't squid away properly, and oh, it's a nightmare. So
Do they have a splat sniper?
No, but that was the one I mentioned before, where you can get a long distance. You can't do it across a map, but it has the longest range by far of like any of them. Because it's weird, because the splat roller feels overpowered because your standard weapon has very little range. Like, very little range. So, like, none of the weapons have that much range. Even the sniper-esque class has, like, double the range of a normal one, but it's still not massive, you know? So that's what makes the splat roller feel a little overpowered, because you're going to be up close with everyone anyway, because none of the weapons have any range to them. It's all centered around close quarters stuff, which is, you know, kind of interesting. But yeah, it makes it a bit weird that there's one that is instant kill when touching, but, you know, there is no proper sniper class.
Oh well, okay. I just wanted to... Who am I kidding? I can't snipe anyway, even if I wanted to play that game.
No. But it's still fun for it. I still stand by that. As it is, you pick up and play and you enjoy it. And that's what I did, and that's why I probably will get it. And hopefully enjoy it.
Well, that's nice. Well
yeah.
done. Ah, oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do.
Ah. Thank you. I needed that. That picked me up.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Okay, so let's go over some tidbits of another online game that's on the way, and that's Star Wars Battlefront. So nothing major has been announced, but we got some tidbits. The first one being that there will be 12 maps at launch when the game comes out. So this is coming from, there's only 4 planets in the initial game. So people were like, well, how many maps will there be? And I said there'll be multiple maps on each planet because there wouldn't be 4 maps. That makes no sense. And this is now being confirmed. And there are in fact 12, with some of them, I can't exactly remember because I didn't reread the article before the podcast, but I believe it's not what I said, which is there's one massive one and then separate ones. I believe it is just separate maps on different parts of the planet. And then I think they are actually going to look vastly different each part. So I think that's pretty cool. I can't remember exactly what it is, but there's one where it's like, I think on the new planet there's like a lava level. Then there's a level that's more of just like a typical one. I can't quite remember. But yeah, so they are actually going to be largely different. They're not going to just be the same one.
They are whole planets, after all.
Yeah.
It's funny, it's like, everything. Okay, that's the forest planet, that's the snow planet. It's like, well, no, they can have more than that in one.
Well, to be fair, Star Wars, like the actual films did that. That was the whole point. Like, Hoth is the snow planet. And there's like no evidence that there's like anything else but just blizzards on the whole thing.
Yeah, but at least it's not that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it is, so there we go. The next tidbit is that there's no iron sights in this game. So in case you don't know what that means, it means that in starting with, well, Call of Duty was a big one for this, but I believe it was already in World War II shooters, where you can like press the button and you look down your sight, but your character is actually physically looking down it, and it puts the gun and the sight in the middle of the screen, which was something that was very new because they didn't used to do that with PC shooters and GoldenEye and that sort of thing. It used to just be, it would be at your hip, and then you press a button and it would zoom in a little bit. But then it started with World War II shooters where you could use your iron sights, and then that became like a standard, a complete standard with FPSs. But they're saying how with Star Wars Battlefront that's now gone. You now can no longer do that. I think they said that certain weapons will have a scope. You know, obviously with a sniper that has a scope, that sort of thing. So certain weapons you can do it. But what they said is that a stormtrooper, their weapons don't have a scope, so they are just shooting it at the hip. And that's something they're sticking to for this game. And there actually is an image of in-game stuff where it shows a first-person shooter or someone using first-person perspective and they're just shooting it normally, and then someone else who's in third-person, you know, doing the same thing where they're not using a scope, they're just shooting it normally. So I think that's very cool. Although if you kind of think about it, there's no way you can have a game where you switch between first-person and third-person and can play in a third-person perspective and have iron sights. Like, you can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. So it shouldn't actually come as a surprise that they announced this, but it's awesome that they did. And I think it's the right direction for this new game.
Wait, what?
What do you mean, what?
What was that last bit you said? Third person can't complain? What?
No, I think with a third-person game, using a third-person perspective, you couldn't have iron sights anyway.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah, so really if we thought about it a bit more, this would be very logical for them to say, so. But still, I never thought about it before, so it's awesome that they did say it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those things where it's, I probably would have never even noticed if I started playing. I guess it would be like Halo.
Yeah.
Halo doesn't have iron sights, does it? Or does it?
No, I don't think so.
I can't remember.
Halo 3 definitely didn't. A lot of them had scopes, but yeah, I think they moved a bit more towards that with the battle rifle and DRM, but I think in general, no. But it did move towards it slightly.
Basically, it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's like a big part of Battlefront is that it didn't have that. So it's cool that this one doesn't have that as well. So it's also a massive distinction between Battlefield and Battlefront. So I think even this alone, and the third person perspective means that this probably won't feel like Battlefield at all. Like, just those two things will separate it enough, where it definitely feels like Battlefront.
I really want you to put in that, like, go back to that podcast, find exactly where you say it, and put it in now.
No.
Go on.
I'm not doing it.
Damn it.
It would take too much effort and work.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
Look, I still stand by that, okay? That wasn't me claiming anything. I was just saying that if it was like Battlefield, I wouldn't be into it. But now it seems like it's taking some elements, but it's keeping the right elements, so now I'm happy. But at the time, we didn't know anything about the game, so I stand by my words.
That's fine. Stand by them.
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm not a puppy doing a trick.
Okay.
How dare you? Right, so I think that's about it. There's another thing about saying how there's no squads. I mean, pretty much there was this interview where this guy was saying how we're taking out a lot of the standards for, first-person shooters and just online shooters in general, so it's not going to have that same feel. And the big one was the Iron Sight. So that's a good sign. It's all good.
Yes, when does it come out again? November?
Yeah, November 20th here in jolly old Europe.
Okay.
I think. I can't... It's weird. I think it's the 19th in Europe, 20th in the UK, but I can't confirm that to be true. But I think that's right.
Okay. Man, we're nearly halfway through the year already.
I know. It's depressing as hell.
That really is depressing.
What have you done today to make you feel proud?
I recorded some videos.
Way, aww.
And thank you. And that's about it, really.
Oh.
Yeah. Yesterday was my day to do stuff. Today was my do-nothing day, pretty much.
Oh. Lazy.
Hey, why are they called Lazy Sundays for?
I don't call them that.
What did you go? Did you go hiking up Everest or something? What?
No, I had a nap. So that was good.
Naps are good.
I needed to go shopping, but then I just had a nap. And then when I woke up, the shop was shut. I was like, well, that's that. Done. Good job.
What did you need from the shop? Was it important stuff? Bread?
No, just the basics, but I do need bread. No, I'm good for milk.
Butter?
No, I don't. I'm good for butter.
Simpsons Lego 2 series?
Well, maybe, but I would have to start with the first series first.
Simpsons Lego 2 series. Yeah, that makes
Lego 2 series. I love the Simpsons Lego 2 series.
It's great.
Thank you for pointing that out, because I did not catch that. How wrong that was in terms of the order.
Wrong.
Simpsons
I need
Lego
more coffee,
2 series.
clearly.
Need some coffee. Wink. I did wink, just so you know.
Good. Commitment.
I am. I'm very much a method podcaster.
Oh. Now we need a webcam. Oh, God.
No. No, you would just see me hunched over a microphone, holding my chest at the moment. Because I've done too much talking today.
You've been recording
in this last half an hour.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
I need to get back to my nap.
Okay, I'll go solo now for the rest of the podcast.
Joe Solo presents.
A Jolo.
Oh.
Okay, that's gonna be mine if I ever do the podcast on my own. It's a Jolo.
Just hey, it's Jolo here.
Hoju. I'll call
the kids could call you Hoju.
Alright, there's a Simpsons quote out of the way. Dumb.
Nowhere near. I think that's only the first one.
Oh, that's a good point, actually, yeah.
Apart from Simpsons Lego series. No, Simpsons Lego 2 series.
Lego 2 series, that's the best series.
It's the only one I like. That's for sure.
All I want is Mole Man, and I'll be happy.
More Mo Man?
More Mole Man in my life.
Yeah. Nowhere near enough.
Nope.
Alright, the next story is that Platonic Games, who we mentioned a few weeks ago, finally revealed their big game that they want to make, and they put it on Kickstarter, and it is Yooka-Laylee. I find it really confusing. Do you just say ukulele, and that's the name? Or do you have to take a break to make sure that everyone knows that it's two separate words?
Are they the names of the characters?
Yeah, there's Yuka and Laylee.
So it's like Yooka and Laylee.
Yeah. Yooka dash Laylee.
How do you spell this?
It's Yooka.
Oh.
Then the other one is just Laylee. So the other one is Laylee. That's very clear. But like Yuka, Luca, Uka, Yuka. It's one of those. I'm assuming it's just ukulele.
Oh, there it is. I wanted to go to the Kickstarter because haven't they made a crap ton of money?
Yeah, this is the fastest game to get to $1 million, I think. Wow. This is the fastest one. It's not the fastest Kickstarter to do it. I think there's a couple of TV shows like Veronica Mars. That one did it quicker, but this is the fastest game out of everyone.
1.5 million it's made, more or less.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, people really want this.
Yeah, people do really want it. Although, something I've read, just a general attitude that I found about this, is that people saying, it's a great example of how people obviously wanted 3D platformers and want them, but the big companies wouldn't make them, saying they wouldn't sell. But now we have a Kickstarter where it's the most successful one for a game, and it made a ton of money. That's just proof that the companies don't know what they're talking about. And I don't really agree with that at all. 3D platformers did go away because nobody liked them. Obviously you had the whole thing with Rare, and they were the big one, but 3D platformers were never a massive genre anyway. But during the PS2 era, people did just kind of lose interest. Now, you could argue a lot of that is due to the quality of the games going downhill, and that definitely had a big part in it, but I don't really think it was it wasn't public demand for a new 3D platformer or 3D platformers to keep going. And that the company was like, no, we're not making those, they don't sell. It was that people's taste changed, and people did want something different, and people didn't want all these cartoony worlds. So, I think with this game, it's kind of it came at the right moment in time, where now there's a large audience of people who played N64 platformers who are now grown up and now have money, and now want to go back to these times. Because it's been so long since 3D platforms were around, so it kind of built up a little bit. So I think it's a little unfair for people to blame big companies for not meeting this demand, because it so clearly exists. I think it's just, they went away, and now they're going to try and come back, and that's cool. And people, give money to stuff they're interested in. I think that's kind of the way it went, so I don't know why I'm defending the big companies here. I just feel like it's kind of unfair to show that there was always a demand, but nobody met it until these guys came around. I don't think that's a fair assessment.
And you would know this because you've reviewed all those weird 3D platformers on the PS2.
Yeah, I'm getting through them. There's still quite a lot that I have queued up and ready to go.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't even like reviewing platformers. I find most of them are hard to talk about. Because it's you play this game where you play a character, there's no story, it looks kind of nice, you jump around. Platformers are not interesting games to talk about. Because they're all very basic in what they are, but...
Jackie Chan.
Well, that's very complex and deep and emotional, so that's a bad example from you, Joe.
Damn it. No, I'm saying do it, actually.
Oh.
Jackie Chan, where is it?
It's on the shelf next to me somewhere.
Oh, alright, move on. Get on with it.
Yeah, I can't see it, but it's there somewhere. But anyway, yeah, so I gave my money to them, but only like the standard get the game fee. I'm not giving them
what was that?
That was 15 quid.
Okay.
Because yeah, that's another thing about this sort of game. You could not release a 3D platformer as a AAA game. Like, you couldn't do it. Like, and this isn't really one. Like, nowadays you can make a game with with a lot of production and a lot behind it and great presentation, but you don't need like a ton of money to do it. You can just kind of make it. You can do like the early access stuff. You can do all that kind of lovely stuff or Kickstarter or whatever and make it. You don't need to do it. But I feel like if there was a 3D platformer that was AAA and was released, it probably wouldn't do that well. It's just because this game is what it is and is presented in that way that I think it works. Like, I don't think on the PS4 you could release like a 40 quid 3D platformer. But hey, 15 quid and it looks nice. I'm up for that.
Yeah. I mean, it does look nice. I did watch that video. It looks very, I don't know, it just seems very clean, I guess is the word I'd go for. It's very clean.
Sure.
The style they've went for.
The one thing I'm worried about the game, though, I think it looks good overall. I like the characters and the kind of look or whatever. I have a fear that it might just be a generic whatever. Like, in terms of the environment and what it eventually becomes. And I hope it doesn't. But if you play Banjo-Kazooie, even though it's on the N64, there's a ton of stuff that gives it a ton of personality. So you got the first level, Mumbo's Mountain, which is mostly like hills and grass or whatever, as you would expect. But then you got like a termite hill. You got Mumbo himself that turns you into a termite. You got like you got all this kind of stuff. You got like a Stonehenge sort of thing. And then you got like there's stuff there that separates it. Then the second world, you got Treasure Trove Cove, which is like a sand level, but you can fly all the way up to the sky, and there's a lighthouse, there's a shark or whatever that talks to you and tries to eat you. There's like a ton of stuff in each level that, even though it's using similar themes, it like has personality to each one, which is how you make a good platformer. Because every platformer uses similar themes, but it's how they twist it to make it interesting and not quite the same is what makes it stand out. And Banjo-Kazooie was very good at that. Like, you also had Gobi's Desert and Freezeezy Peak that was Christmas themed. It was, throughout the whole game, it was like that, making its own twist and personality. Yooka-Laylee, I don't really see that with what they're showing off. All the stuff that I've seen so far seems to be just, oh, here's like the jungle level, which I know it's in early stages, but I just hope that they find a way to inject their own kind of personality into it, because at the moment it just feels like, oh, there was concept art of a snow level and it was just a snowy place and that was it, which just for me isn't enough. So I hope they avoid that pitfall, but apart from that, everything else looks great. I just hope they do add personality to the game.
Man, when you say it's still far off, you're not kidding. October 2016.
Yeah, it's nowhere near.
That's nowhere near.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that funny though, that to think that you're putting money for something? I mean, it's obviously going to be fine when it comes out, but it's just funny that you're investing that early. Like, I would never have thought that'd be the case a few years ago, where you're paying for a game a year and a half beforehand.
Well, that's the great thing. You pay it now, forget about it, and when it comes out, hey, free game.
Yeah, pleasant surprise.
It's a free game I just been sent, completely forgetting that you paid for it. Just, hey, I got this for free, what a deal.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I don't know if I mean, I do like platformers. I don't know. I am seeing it's going to come out on PS4 though, so maybe I should.
You got to play something after Crimes and Punishment.
I know. Well, there'll be Batman, but yeah. Apart
Allegedly.
from then, who knows? Oh yeah, we'll see.
Apparently.
Maybe.
Definitely not.
Like, whatever. Sorry, I've been wanting to say that because the way you said whatever earlier, it really reminded me of that.
Like,
Whatever. Just get that out of my system. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad. So I gave my money. I'm gonna get it. Should be fun, but I mean, now the question is, what's Microsoft gonna do? Because Microsoft have been making this big push with rare IPs. We got Battletoads and Shovel Knight. We got a new Conquer thing in Project Spark. Rare is meant to be working on this big secret project that is meant to be like something to do with their old stuff. So we'll have to see what comes out of their camp. That's the interesting part, because it'll be announced at E3, whatever Rare is working on, I would assume. So that's in about a month's time. So when that comes out, we'll see what it is and if it compares to Yooka-Laylee at all. That's like the interesting part for me.
Do you think it will be anything like that?
I see. It's weird. If you look at rare IPs, which I'm about to. Hold on. No, I can remember them. So they've done Killer Instinct already. They can't do Donkey Kong. They've done Conquer already. I guess they could do Perfect Dark or Banjo-Kazooie. I think that's all they're really kind of left with. In terms of the big ones, anyway. Like, I think everything else is either covered for or no one actually really cares about.
Grabbed by the ghoulies.
Yeah, something like that. I would assume that...
I'm just looking them up.
Yeah, when they're talking about older franchises and returning to them, I'm assuming they're talking about the ones when they were with Nintendo. But the only ones they own, really, and haven't been covered, are Perfect Dark and Banjo-Kazooie. That's it. Unless they do Mickey Speedway USA 2. Or like you said, grab
that.
Yeah, well, you got to, haven't you? But otherwise, nothing else... In terms of what they made with Microsoft, nothing else really stands out. Like, Grabbed by the Ghoulies wasn't well received. It's Mr. Pants. That could work.
Oh, it's Mr. Pants.
It is. It's him.
Hey, that looks like that thing. Hang on. What is it? It looks like Purple Ronnie. That's what it's called. Do you remember that? It was on Vimto bottles.
Oh, I think so. Maybe
it was like a little stick man thing. That's what Mr. Pants looks like.
Oh,
do you have any clue what I'm talking about right now?
Nope.
Okay, don't worry.
I'm sure I'd recognise him. Vimto man. Where is?
Maybe it's Ribena.
Oh. Oh, him. The one who looks like he should be in like a... Is it Jackie Wilson?
Yeah, what, Tracy Beaker thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Pants.
It could be. It really could be.
Sorry to, get off on a tangent there. Bring it back.
Mr. Pants, yeah, sequel confirmed, HD remix.
Kickstart.
Yeah, Kickstart, it's Mr. Pants.
It's Mr. Pants. That's just a great name.
It is.
The it makes all the difference.
See, I'm just looking here, because Cameo, no. The only one that was successful... Cameo, more like, no, please, don't.
Stop.
Not like this. Yeah, the only one that was successful and that was, good was Fever Pinata.
That weird game that it is.
Well, you had fun.
I did have a lot of fun. Oh, yeah, it's just very weird.
Yeah, it's a fun game, so that's the only one that was actually, people would say, yeah, that was a good game. Other than that, it's just like, there's nothing. So it has to be Banjo-Kazooie or Perfect Dark. And I think, but the problem with both of those games is that they release new versions of them on the 360, and nobody liked either of them. So it's like, which one do you pick? Do you even bring them back? I just don't know. They're just in like such a bad position, because it's been like a decade of disappointment from those guys. And now they have to try and bring it back, where most of the staff has buggered off and made like a game that people gave £1.5 million to.
Decade of disappointment.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
It's pretty bad. Some would
I can
argue
see that
longer, as well.
I can see that on like a magazine or a newspaper headline. Like an article you wrote.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really could. You should get publishing.
I should. Or that will be the name of Cameo 2. The subtitle. Cameo 2. Decade of Disappointment. And the first one was Elements of Power, so it connects. It's
yeah.
Did you ever play Cameo?
I played about an hour of it and then got bored.
Oh, it's bad.
I don't know why I got bored. Exactly.
Because it's bad.
Because it's bad, I guess, yeah.
And it should feel bad.
I felt bad.
Well, I was going to review it. I picked it up as like, hey, this is a rare game that I never played, and obviously it was during the Decade of Disappointment, so something, that it should be an interesting game to at least have a look at. I was just so bored. And it was just, not well made at all. Had all the, oh god, the presentation was terrible. The controls didn't work, it was ugly, and it was just dumb. I just really didn't like it, to the point where I was like, I'm not playing this. So I just never reviewed it. I have the copy around it somewhere, but I'm never going to review it, because I would have to put myself through it. Because it was just bad.
You don't want to do that to yourself.
No, I don't mind playing a bad game, because it's right, I can get a good video out of this. But Cameo was just awful. Maybe at the time, I think it worked a bit better, and was, probably wasn't, I don't think it was hated at the time, but playing it now, years later, it just feels so awful, so poorly made, it just doesn't hold up in the slightest.
I just got it because it was really cheap, and now I know. Now I realise why it was really cheap.
Yeah, it was just it's so sad. We've talked about Rare before, so I won't go into it too much. But it's so sad that Rare was the big studio for Microsoft. Microsoft went all in with Rare, and they just made disappointment after disappointment. They were one of the big companies for the 360. And it's something that I don't think people realise, because there was such a big shift towards third party. Once the console becomes so big, the third parties then kind of take over, like with the PS2. That happened with the 360 as well, because it was the most successful console. But at the beginning, when Microsoft was all in, trying to be the main company to put out good content, it was Rare. Rare were the big ones for them. So they put out Cameo, Perfect Dark, Viva Pinata, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and none of them did well. And it's oh god, I feel bad for him.
That's right.
I mean, I've said it before, but the Kinect Sports thing, Rare, yeah, of course that's what happened. You just look at the history and yeah, of course. It's not weird.
Don't worry about it. Whatever they do will be great, I'm sure.
Yeah, you reckon?
The decade of disappointment is over.
Now to start the century of regret.
Oh no. Century of regret. Man, that's a long time to regret.
Yeah, there's not one in between, is there? Decade and century?
Yeah, there is.
What is it, though?
Monkey.
The monkey of misperception. No.
Monkey's 20, isn't it?
Is it?
I thought monkey was like a £20 note.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think it's...
I don't care if it's not for years. It is now.
Monkey years. Years of the monkey include... That's not what we want.
I have a year of the monkey.
Me too. What is monkey in years?
It's not a thing. Don't look.
It's not coming up, Joe.
No, it's really... No, I made that up.
You can put a monkey on something. I want to say that's like 500 quid.
Oh no, monkey's 500 anyway.
Monkey bet.
Score is 20. Score, yes, because you have four score and 20. It's a score.
Score.
Get all Abraham Lincoln on this.
Years. Yeah, it is 20 years.
A score of regret.
a score of... Oh god. Yeah, score of regret works. I'm happy with that.
Excellent.
We're getting there.
Yeah. Slowly.
Because Star Fox Adventure was 2002, which I liked, But for some people, that is when it started. And that was 2002. So we're 13 years, arguably, into the score of regret.
That's great. I love that.
Well, we'll see with E3. I just think that's the interesting part of all this. That, yeah, Yooka-Laylee looks great and it's probably going to be fun, but what are those rare bastards going to do next?
Who knows? Ooh.
That's the fun.
I'm sorry, I've now just got caught up in slang for money. That's right.
No. Put a pony on it. That's one, right?
Yeah, what's that? 50? No, 25. I'm looking it up.
32.
What is... Here we go. I'm going to test you now. A Pavarotti.
A what?
A Pavarotti, I should say.
Okay, 200?
No.
Well, that's it. That's all the numbers I know.
It is £10 because it's a tenner. And a tenner... Get it?
No.
A tenor, like a when you sing, you're a tenor.
Oh.
Pavarotti was a tenor.
I don't.
All right, fine. It's lost. Move on.
It is. If you said something like, I don't know, Rihanna. She is a singer. Put a Rihanna on it.
But is she a tenor?
I don't know. I don't know what a tenor is.
It's like you can be like a baritone or a tenor, right?
Right.
I don't know. Opera stuff.
Oh, opera. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like music.
No one listens to opera.
No.
People who do are just pretending.
It's a regret.
The opera of regret.
Opera of regret.
Oh dear. The rare story.
See, now it sounds like it could be something on, like, do you know that Behind the Laughter that they did for The Simpsons?
Sure.
Like, behind the music. They need something for rare. And I have that dramatic thing just before the ad break.
Dun,
Prepare
dun, dun.
for the score of regret.
Then I was thinking, we'll do Banjo-Kazooie in cars. Dun 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 dun.
See, yeah, that's perfect.
That's a show.
That is a show, yeah.
Opera of Regret, the rare story.
Opera of Regret, the rare story. Decade of Disappointment.
They're just like, why is there an opera of regret? It's like, well, Rihanna.
It got mixed in with it, and we thought,
We like the sound of it.
I want to see that in like a TV listings. Like that massively long title.
Just, oh look, at 9 o'clock on BBC Two.
The Opera of Regret. Whatever the hell it was, I don't know.
Opera of Regret, the rare story. Gosh.
Decade of Disappointment.
You'll never DVR it at this rate.
No. Or TiVo.
Or BBC iPlayer it.
Yeah. Or we don't speak of 4OD.
No. Too many adverts.
Yeah, we do not speak of that. It does not exist.
Well, they put, like, Channel 4 stuff on Netflix at this point, so... Why would you go to 4OD, I guess?
You wouldn't.
No. Not in this country.
Not on this podcast, we don't.
Not in this Tory country, am I right, Joe?
You are absolutely right.
Politics.
Topical. Bloody Cameron. Do you know what that 4OD is a sign of? Broken Britain.
Oh,
Hashtag
no. Not
Broken
hashtag
Britain.
Broken Britain.
Hashtag Broken Britain.
A country divided? No.
Where is the big society when we have a 4OD that doesn't even work?
Ugh, they put a man on the moon, but I gotta watch 2 adverts to watch bloody Father Ted. What is this?
It's a broken Britain, Tom.
That's a broken Britain. I'm just glad Henry VIII wasn't alive to see his Britain collapse.
Yes, Henry VIII made Britain. He really did.
He is the number 1 monarch. I voted for him.
Yeah, he's good.
Top 10 list of number 1 kings and queens. Henry VIII.
Was he really?
No, I don't.
I bet he would be. Everyone likes him because he chopped people's heads off.
Well, it's just memorable, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just the ones that people remember.
Unlike that Charles.
Ugh.
I don't know which one though. Charles III.
There was no Charles III, was there?
I don't know.
I think Charles II got his head cut off
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
in the English Revolution. I think that put a stain on the old child's name. And that's when old Jimbo stepped in, I think.
There will be a King Charles III, though.
Oh! More topical stuff.
Oh.
Wow. Do tell.
Uh,
In Joe's Monarchy corner.
when old Liz pops the clogs.
Oh, well, that's not very classy, is it?
No, we've brought the tone down now.
You're more classy when you talk about biscuits rather than
Well, I am an expert.
our
on
beloved
this.
queen.
Yes. You know what? Going back to Simpsons for some reason.
At last.
One thing that really made me laugh, and I just completely forgot, and it's not even that funny. It's just the way that he says it is when Ned, something about Ned, he regrets saying it, and it cuts to him in bed with Maud, and I think he's either drunk or tired or something, and he calls, I think it's Anne Landers is a boring old biddy.
Oh, Biddy.
Biddy. It opened my eyes to the insult that is biddy. Such a great word.
Yeah, that's the one where he's in the alcohol, like the alcohol meeting.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
it's like, I only had a drink one time.
Boring old biddy.
I was more monster than man.
I will be using biddy a lot more, I think.
Oh, you biddy.
Boring old biddy.
Free biddy.
Free biddy. Exactly that. Oh dear.
Just clear the old throat into the microphone. You got to do it sometimes.
Yeah, it's lovely.
You got to keep it real.
Authentic podcast.
Ugh. I'm gonna make you sick through the internet. I can do that.
Ew. Bacteria. It's like eventually we'll have bacteria vision.
Yo, what is this? Gonna get an internet virus.
Oh. Oh, we're done here. Let's just drop the mic and walk away.
Let's drop the mic. I mean, I'll have to unscrew it.
I can't actually drop mine. It's attached. That's not the.
I could slam it down onto my desk, if that would help.
That would just be noisy. Let's not do that.
Yeah, that's not. I'll cough into the mic, but I'm not going to damage it.
No.
Right, last bit of news. So there's a few things with Nintendo going on. I guess the biggest one is that they're going to make Nintendo theme park rides, which I can't really get excited for because it's in America. So whatever, I don't care. I can't ride
Is it going to be a ride or is it going to be a whole theme park?
I think it's going to be like its own section in Universal. Like Universal is a massive one, and they'll just have the Nintendo part of the park. So there'll be several rides, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be its own theme park.
Okay, because I was a bit unsure about, because I heard lots of people saying, oh, they could have a Mario section, and they could have a DK banana stand thing. I don't know.
Ugh.
What, they could have their own section or their own park or what?
No, yeah, I think it's its own section of Universal, because I think those theme parks over there are just massive.
It'll be pretty expensive, yeah.
I thought the theme parks over here were big. You could spend all day, but with America, I think you have to spend like 3 days going to the same theme park to actually see it all.
But everything over there has to be bigger, doesn't it? So
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's the American way.
Big Macs. Why can't it just be Macs?
Good point.
Satire, that is. That's satire.
I don't fancy a Big Mac.
Normal Mac for me.
An average Mac, please.
Your run-of-the-mill Mac. For one, please.
I think if you go over there, you think you'd be sent back.
I think so. You get the hell out.
This Big Mac is too big. Get out. or you just like hear a gun being loaded.
Ugh. What a world. But yeah, so there's that. But I don't really. I mean, I guess I could come up with some ideas. How about Kirby's Suck Ride?
Adults only.
Yeah, adult. 18 pluses only. Oh yeah.
Bow bow. Duffman for some reason.
Always stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it apart from it should happen. It's a cool idea, And if, Nintendo said how they want to branch out, and this is definitely one of the more positive ways they can do that.
Yeah, I guess it's it's kind of funny that, I mean, has there been any gaming theme parks or rides?
Oh, bloody
before?
good question. I don't think so. I think there's been. I think there's something. There must have been.
Because obviously, there's always, you get like the Back to the Future and the Jurassic Parks and even the Simpsons, but I never really thought about video games.
Video game theme party supplies, theme party favors. Google's weird. There must be. I feel like must have been some at some point, but from what I can tell by spending 2 seconds on Google, no. There must have been though.
You'd think so, like a Resident Evil or something.
No, well, just something like a Halo ride, something like that. But I guess when you really break it down, there's only a certain amount of franchises that are turned into theme parks anyway. And it's only in recent years where video games have become big enough in the media where they could be that big, that they are as big as like a Harry Potter or something like that. So yeah, I think this might actually be the first one.
Well, that's interesting. If it goes very well, then you might see more.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to get
Like
Rare World.
Rare World.
The theme park of regret. A Rareware theme park.
Well, I could give them some tips for that.
Exactly. You just get on. The first half is amazing, and then it just like stops.
Stink bombs.
Stink bomb. It just takes your money.
Yeah, ludicrously expensive on the second half for some reason.
For no reason. Just like, you must pay this much to get to the end of this ride.
Stink bomb.
Then you were more monster than man that day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
With your yellow stream.
Well, what now?
Well, you didn't have red,
Oh,
if you recall.
yes.
Because no one else does. No one else notices it. You're all colourblind.
I probably am.
Oh, well, that's fair enough.
Thank you.
I feel mean now for having a go. I was just joking, but
That's fine.
if you got a condition...
Oh, there's another piece of gaming news.
No, there's not.
Very tiny, though.
Oh.
There may be Lego Simpsons in a video game. Well, there
Oh,
probably
I
will
didn't
be.
read this.
In their Lego Dimensions game, it's apparently leaked that The Simpsons is in it.
Ah.
So it's not going to have their own game, but at least it is a form of Simpsons in a game again.
Yeah, but you know what that means.
That means I have to get it.
Yeah, you have to get it.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to buy the Simpsons sets.
Yeah, I know.
So
Don't
if you want
remind
all
me.
the Lego Simpsons, you'll have to buy the separate Lego Dimensions one, which will just be like Homer and Bart again.
I'm not buying the Series 2, it's fine.
What
I'm
about
not.
Mole Man though?
I'll get Mole Man, yeah.
But how
get
are you
one
going
for
to
eBay.
know?
I'll show Mole Man some love.
All right.
But yeah, apparently it will be in there, so... I'm not sure what
Yeah, I'm
is the game
trying to-
going to be like... I imagine it'll be something like that... What's it called again? Undercover something.
What?
That Lego Undercover City. Was it it?
Lego City Undercover.
Why am I getting everything in the wrong order today?
You got the right words.
I'm so close. Maybe it'll be something like that.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking up the rumour of where all this Lego stuff came from. Apparently what it was... Oh, that looks cool. Yeah, apparently what it was is that they put it up on Walmart's website, and then that had a description of all the different level packs and stuff. And
Okay.
that included... there's some Chimer one, whatever that is. And then the team packs, you got Jurassic World and Scooby-Doo. Then the level packs, you got The Simpsons and Portal.
Yes, Portal as well was interesting.
Then there are actually images of all the Portal stuff. No adverts for me. But yeah, there's no pictures of The Simpsons, but there are definitely pictures of this Portal stuff. So it seems to, that this is probably true.
That's good.
But it's still not the same as...
No, but it's been a long time since Simpsons in video games, so...
I might have to check this game out, but I just feel like such a child. Like, I've got Skylanders, and when I look at it, I'm like, oh, God, what's wrong with me? How old am I?
Do you really think that?
A little bit, yeah. Well, okay, the thing is with Skylanders, is when I was playing it, you have to get your little Spyro figure. You gotta place it on the little podium of power to scan it in, and you gotta have your little figures next to it, so when you swap, you can be like, yeah, I'll put in the water frog thing. So it's that element of it that really made me feel quite young and childish.
Well, I'll join you soon enough with Lego. But Lego's less kiddie. They're like, well, it's not any better actually, because then it's like middle-aged men who have these like giant walls of Lego, and it's like,
then it's like, oof.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I don't know if it's any better, but I'll be there with Lego in hand.
Way, that's good.
Unless it's very expensive.
Which it will be. You gotta pay like 50, 60 quid for Lego Dimensions, and then it'll probably be like another 20 quid for all the Simpsons stuff. So, you know, potentially up to 100 quid you're gonna need to spend on this.
Okay, maybe not straight away.
But hello, PS4.
Hey, PS4. Ooh, more PS4
new
stuff.
game.
When's it coming out?
Hmm?
When's it coming out?
This holiday season. That's all you need to know.
I better start saving then.
You better. But yeah, with all this childish stuff though, I have a few moments like that, but I kind of just think, you know what, I'm too far gone in terms of looking down on anything for being childish. I'm just too far gone. I've made my choices, now I just gotta go with it.
Yeah? What has there been any other things that have prompted this?
Not really, it's just in general, when I look at the games, like, just with the YouTube channel, when I look at the games I cover, and the games I play, and review, when I look back on it, it's like, should I really be playing these sort of games? Like, it doesn't have to be all over 18, you know, I pick the games because I enjoy them, but it's just like, should I have a line? Maybe.
Are you on about things like that Spider-Man game?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Well, if I actually look at the Spider-Man games, it's quite funny, because I have all of them on the 360, and on other consoles as well. Spider-Man 3, I'm glad you asked which ones. Spider-Man 3, Friend or Foe, Web of Shadows, Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time, The Amazing Spider-Man, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I have them all. I don't know if I feel good about it.
Don't let that get you down. Do whatever you want. Do what you feel like, man.
I do what I feel like.
Yeah. Who cares if it seems kiddie?
Well, that's the thing. It's like at school, you would have someone who would say, that's stupid. Like, it was very much like, you know, that's just how school was. Everyone in the same place. So everyone judged everyone else. It was, it was terrible. But now that I'm older, I'm allowed to just like what I like, and that's it. And I work somewhere where everyone is, like, very nerdy in general. Not everyone, but, you know, everyone has geeky tastes. So I'm allowed to just whatever goes. And it's kind of an odd feeling where the other day I got Spider-Man Edge of Time on the DS, which is clearly meant for young kids. But I was like, I don't have that one. I'll pick that up and go to the adult at the counter and give them the money I earned and buy this. And it's like, what am I doing? Like, I got it anyway. Like, I did buy it. But it's just one of those things where it's like, now that I'm completely allowed to like whatever I like, it's just exposing the fact that I have a very childish mentality when it comes to my tastes.
Yeah. That's fine.
I mean, I have Jackie Chan Adventures on my shelf.
Well, everyone should. I kind of felt the same.
It's a 12 plus, so that's fine.
I kind of felt the same when I went to that shop I speak about sometimes that has all the old PS2 games.
The CEX?
And some of the games CEX, yeah, and some of the games I've got from there haven't been the best. I think I got that Wallace from Gromit game from there, things like that. I do feel a little bit funny when I go up to the counter and everyone's got the Call of Duty games or whatever, and I'm there with these PS2 games from over 10 years ago. This one's 25 pence.
What a bargain!
Yeah, but then I don't know. I go home and make videos on them, and then I enjoy myself. So as long as it makes you happy.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that I need to change. It's just that self-evaluation where sometimes you just gotta look at the stuff I have and being like, okay, this is the person I am, I suppose. That's cool.
Yes, in fact, that's a very good point. I read that on Reddit about how important it is to live on your own, because that's when you truly realise who you are, because you're in charge of everything. So what you surround yourself in is an example of who you are as a person. So now you know.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
that's it. I've been living by myself now for about 10 months. And now it's all just there. It's all just come to the surface of all the just nerdy stuff I like. I just own it now. I just buy it and I just own it. Although I don't think I'm too bad, but yeah, it's just in terms of games especially, it's just if somebody were to look at my shelf, it'd be like, oh, you must have like an 8-year-old younger brother that comes around a lot. And I have to be like, no, they're all mine. I brought them all.
And then they'll play with you.
Yeah, co-op.
Do they have any co-op in those games? I'm sure they do.
Yeah, some do.
There you go.
You can pretend you don't know, but you know.
Well, I know for Wallace and Gromit it doesn't. I don't know.
No Gromit action.
You think there would be? Maybe there is. Yeah, maybe there is Gromit. Makes sense.
But I some of it also came to light, or I was thinking about it recently, is because when I read the comments to my like Spider-Man DS videos, they're all blatantly extremely young, or they're just blatantly like a young kid who got it for Christmas and is now trying to figure out the game, which like it's nice in a way, that you made a video and it helped a kid out beat a game that they like. Like that is a nice feeling, but it's something I don't think about in general. But obviously that is, it's not people my age watching Let's Plays of Spider-Man games. Like, I don't do that. I just make them. So it is a younger crowd, which I always knew. It's just something I don't always think about.
I would say the... How much should I go for? I don't know, but a lot. A heck of a lot. I'd say probably the majority of people who watch my stuff, probably all gaming videos on YouTube, are anywhere below 15.
Yeah, something like that. Because it's that thing where when you're at school you have enough time to watch them. Because when you're putting up hours and hours of content, the people who have the most time to watch it are younger people. Older people in general just don't.
And the thing is, this is what I do anyways. When I record stuff, I record it with the people watching in mind as my age. And I know it doesn't make sense, but that they would know the things I know. So I'd use a quote or something, or a way of saying it. And it's funny to think that's probably lost on the majority of people that watch my stuff, which is fine. But yeah, it's usually... I get the impression, especially with things like Destroy Humans, where I see a comment and it's like, when this came out, I got it for Christmas and I was such a great time when I was 6 years old playing it. Oh, God.
Do the maths.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's fine, though.
No, it's fine. I'm not trying to be negative here.
No,
it's just a self-realization sort of thing. Because I do the same thing. I make a video with the hope that someone my age would also like it. Like, I make a video I would like, so in turn, it would be for people who, watch it.
I hate them. No.
Yeah. Boo!
Oh, I didn't mean to make you sick by saying that. Sorry.
You make me sick. You drunk. No, it's fine.
Not quite yet.
On the way.
Getting there.
Getting there. I did have some wine last night, which didn't help this morning. Waking up. Not much. Like half a bottle. I think that's acceptable.
Yeah. What was that? A couple glasses? Big glasses?
About 3. Yeah, 2 big ones. But it's because... Oh, this is something I'm going to bring up. Last night, I watched the original Spider-Man film. The 2002 one.
It was great, wasn't it? I bet you really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. It was great.
Yeah.
No, like, because ever since the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 came out, I really like those films. I'm not going to say they're perfect, but I really like them. So, in terms of the Sam Raimi ones, the original trilogy, I was very negative about them after seeing the reboot. Because the reboots just seemed so much better, and I just looked back on the older ones and was like, no. They were good at the time, but no. I don't want to see Tobey Maguire do that, his face, no. Mary Jane and whatever. I definitely felt very negative, where I just felt like the casting was a lot better in the newer ones, the action and the directing was a lot better. Maybe not the villains so much. I think the villains were probably better in the original trilogy, but still, I think overall the Amazing Spider-Man films did a great job of updating it, and it's just the casting was so good in those ones. Andrew Garfield, I think he was awesome, and so yeah, just having to go back to the original cast, I thought was like, no, there's no way those films hold up. So I decided to buy the original trilogy because they were on DVD in a CEX for £2.75. So I was like, you know what? I'll take the risk.
Yeah.
Take the dive. So far I've only seen the first one, but that first one is a really good film. It actually really holds up and just like a good Spider-Man film. Like, the interesting thing about it is that it kind of, like, it's very different with the way it approaches its universe, where it's very much a single film about a guy who gets bitten, and then there's the other guy, Norman Osborn, Willem Dafoe or whatever, him, they both go through these transformations and they fight and whatever, Mary Jane's there. It's very much its own singular film, and it kind of is what it is. And it was really refreshing to go back and watch that sort of superhero film, because now every single one, Marvel, Sony, Warner Brothers, all of their films, none of them are like that. None of them are their own single standalone films. They are what they are. Each of the Marvel films, for example, do try very hard to tell their own story, but the whole point of them is that it's a big connecting story. So, it's something that people really enjoy about them. But at this point in time, with superhero films, we now have more films in like this big connecting universes than we do just standing by themselves. So Spider-Man, the original one, came from a time when there was like not even a thought about doing the big universe thing. So it just was what it was, and that made it really refreshing and really cool to just watch. It was just a simple film about this nerd who gets powers and then fights a guy. Well, now I'm just rambling, but yeah, it was a simple film, and I actually really enjoyed it. In the first film, I think Tobey Maguire isn't as annoying. Mary Jane isn't as annoying. The Goblin's a good villain. No one's annoying in it. Like, when I look back on the casting, I definitely find that the characters were more annoying. But in the first film, that wasn't the case. When I rewatched it, everyone just played their part well. And also, that original film sticks much closer to, like, the original feel of Spider-Man and the comics or whatever. It's very much the original story, which I think is why some people don't like The Amazing Spider-Man, that film, because it tries to be a bit more deep and have a bit more backstory right off the bat, where this one is very much just the simple story, which of course, Spider-Man, the comics is from like the 60s, so that's what that did, before comics themselves became the big, bloated, here's the big universe, here's all the different Earths, and, comic books universes are very bloated, but didn't used to be. The films are now becoming very bloated, but didn't used to be. So Spider-Man represents that simpler time, which is why I liked it. I thought it was good. Really enjoyed it.
Are you going to watch all of them? Even 3?
Yeah. Like, the thing is, The film that I think of when I think, oh, those original ones weren't very good was Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3 wasn't very good, sure, but everyone is like, yeah, it wasn't very good. Everyone's on the same page. It's 2 that I found to be overrated and just like... I haven't rewatched it yet, so we'll see. Maybe I will like it. But there's a scene when Peter Parker's like walking down the street and they're playing Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. And then he trips up, but then he gets up again and keeps on walking, and it's like, ugh. Like,
well, that's some very deep symbolism right there.
It really was. Like, I like the idea of Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Ock and whatever, but I think the second film has a very big Mary Jane, oh, he wants to be with her, but he can't, and then he gives up being Spider-Man, but then comes back to Spider-Man. Like, it's very much got all that kind of messy Peter Parker stuff, which, you know, you just want to see him kind of fight Dr. Ock. You gotta have the Peter Parker stuff, sure, but him trying to hide his identity from Mary Jane isn't interesting. Him trying to rebuild his life without Spider-Man isn't interesting. And I don't know why I'm trying to review the film that I haven't seen in years.
I was wondering.
Yeah, I should probably see it. I should probably give it a watch.
Yeah,
but yeah,
okay.
that's my feelings about that film. Everyone loves it because it focuses a lot on Peter Parker, and it's also, you know, meant to be a good sequel and has a good villain or whatever, but I just have bad memories of it. And that's the film that I think was overrated and didn't do it right, but everyone feels like it did. So I'll have to see it. And I guess I'll let you know next week what I think of it. But yeah, so I like the first one a lot. I think the first one is what it is. But with The Amazing Spider-Man, the reboot, I think that also had to be... Excuse me. I think that had to be different. That had to be modern. It had to reinvent Spider-Man in a different way. It had to present the universe in a different way. So I felt a lot of what it did was necessary, especially in terms of presenting Spider-Man's origin story again, with the film only coming out 10 years later. So I think it did a great job with recasting everyone, representing the story in a different way, and just in a more modern way. So I think that's something that's really good. Because with Spider-Man, the whole point is that Peter Parker is like hated by everyone, like just openly mocked and bullied. And that's something that the original film did, but the reboot didn't. And it's something that people complain about, that Peter Parker isn't much of a nerd. But honestly, in today's age, that's just not how it is anymore. It would be really weird and just, I think, almost unrealistic if the main character was so openly mocked and bullied in a school, because schools are so anti-bullying nowadays. On social media, you can see that culture of just being anti-bully, everyone being extremely nice to each other. It just wouldn't make sense. So I gotta give The Amazing Spider-Man props for, you know, responding correctly to the culture that we're in and not trying to recreate a culture back from the 60s. That just wouldn't make sense anymore. So that was also something I noticed about the film, and I think something that I need to watch The Amazing Spider-Man, I think, once I do the original trilogy, just to see the differences, because I think it was very smart in the way I updated it.
Watch them at the same time. 2 TVs.
What? Why?
I don't know.
It's not the same story. It wouldn't make any sense.
Just do it. Actually, no. I've got my own old film review. A very small review.
Alright, we're ending
happened.
the podcast.
Shut up. My mini review is this. As people may know, there's been an election, a general election in Britain, and
Broken Britain
now, and even more broken. And it's the one time where politics is actually very exciting, because it's live and you don't know what's going to happen, and all these results come in, and you get David Dimbleby, and he's fantastic, and yeah, so I liked watching that, and it kind of got me in the political mood, if only for a few days, because now it's like I don't care. it's all died back down now. So I was watching these videos of some, I think it was like funny moments in the House of Commons, right?
Okay.
Where people started insulting each other and stuff like that. It's great. And one of the suggested videos on the side was The Iron Lady. And it said, which was a film from 2011 about Margaret Thatcher. And it said, The Iron Lady full movie. And you know those things on YouTube where it says full movie, and it never is. It's always a spam thing that sends you to another website, right? This was actually the full movie. I was pleasantly surprised. It was literally the full movie on YouTube. So, you know what? I always wanted to see this film because because Meryl Streep won an Oscar for playing Margaret Thatcher, and I want to see was that deserved? And so I watched the film, and I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it was because the film I didn't think was very good overall, and that's not political things aside. I just didn't think it was a very good film. But I think she did do a very good job of playing Margaret Thatcher, and because usually with those sorts of films, it's the Oscar bait stuff, isn't it? Where it's a bit like that one was it 2 years ago or 1 year ago? The Butler, where it was about the black butler for all the presidents, and that had Oscar bait all written all over it. And it's usually biographies of the Oscar things. So when this won an Oscar, I was just like, oh well, yeah, obviously it's about Margaret Thatcher. She's old now. Of course, it's going to win an Oscar. But no, she did do a very good job. There you go. That's my review.
So you didn't like the film, but you felt the Oscar was deserved.
Well, because she won it for Best Actress, and she was a very good actress. So yeah.
But why didn't you like the film?
Because the film is supposed to address her getting dementia in old age, and she keeps seeing her husband who died, which is it's sad, and it's an interesting way of doing it. But then it's like it has to put in all these big bits about the politics, like the Falklands War, and I don't know. It goes too. It does skip a lot, and there's no flow to the film. I thought.
Oh.
It's like it showed a part of I think it showed the rest of the 1980s in about a 10-second montage after something or other. It's like, that was the 80s. Moving on. Okay, fine, great. On to the 90s then.
Yeah, but how else can you show a whole person's life though without?
Well, that's the thing. I'd rather they didn't. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, they could just have her once she starts getting dementia, and then like maybe flashbacks, like maybe she thinks back to a time, and do it like that. Maybe.
But that's what they did. That was it. Yeah, that's exactly it. What you just said. She watches some videos and like, ooh, harp music, and then it goes to the Falklands War, and then it comes back, and yeah. Oh. But within that, they still tried to frame her coming to power and then winning the elections, and then all that stuff.
Well, then I won't watch it.
No, I don't watch it.
That's a guarantee, even though it's free on YouTube. And you stole it.
It really is free.
You theft it.
Maybe it's because it's No, see, I don't know why it's still up there. Maybe it just hasn't been caught yet.
Yeah, probably.
But it has a lot of views, like hundreds of thousands of views. So yeah, weird.
That is weird. Okay, well, I think it's time to end this. I'm done with this. All right.
Okay.
I just want my nap.
Go for your nap.
I will. So any last thoughts, any last feelings, any last dreams you want to express?
Anne Landers is a boring old biddy. There you go. That's my final thought.
That is out of line. Well, the standard question, what's going on your little old channel?
Something different has happened, I can actually say.
Yeah.
Well, the dig finished. I suppose it's been 2 weeks since the last one, hasn't it? Yeah. The dig has finished. That's over. We saved the day and brought back the aliens. And now I'm on to Red Faction Guerrilla as the next Let's Play.
Right. So have you actually played through the game already?
Not all of it, no.
Okay. Because I thought that, because when I was trying to pick my own games for LP, it is definitely getting to the point where there's not that much or that many games where I think I've already played through it and that would work as an LP. So I just found it curious to see, obviously, this game you hadn't played until Canada BC recommended it to you.
Yeah.
So I was just interested if you actually had played it before. Because I'm getting to the point where a lot of the times the answer is just no. No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's. I knew the time was coming. I did, because I thought, when I was doing the Simpsons things, like, yeah, these are great. This is really fun. I love these Let's Plays. But it's going to end soon. And it did. There are still games, of course, but I don't know whether they'd be very good videos.
Yeah, because I just find, like, to actually sit aside and play a game, like a PS2 game or whatever, GameCube game, whatever you want, and actually sit through and just play it to see how it is, that's pretty time consuming. Like, assuming how it's not, you're not recording it or anything, you're just checking out a game you think you're going to like with the possibility of maybe your LP it in the future. Like, I don't find myself having time to do that.
I think I've been fairly lucky with the games I've picked. Well, maybe not lucky, but like point and clicks, for example. I never played any point and clicks before doing them on my channel, so LucasArts is always a good. You can bank on them because they're the biggest, most well known. Or maybe Sierra, but I'm not sure. But even like Beneath the Still Sky, that could have went terribly wrong because it's a very weird game. So I think in terms of games that I haven't played, you kind of have to also rely a bit on, not too much though, but rely a little bit on suggestions from people know you. If that makes sense.
Sure.
So they'd know what games you'd like. Yeah.
But you can kind of see why some people just say, screw it, this is a new game, I'll just do this. Because I do play new games, which is why I don't have time for other games sometimes. But yeah, I do play new games. And for some people, obviously, they just think, hey, new game, record it, boom, put it up, get a lot of views done. You can kind of see that a bit more.
Yeah. But I don't know, there's something nice about well, I don't know if nice is the right word, but exhausting the games you've played, and then making yourself, because it is kind of making yourself in a way, making yourself play new games that you wouldn't necessarily play. I don't know. Have you played any games you would not have played before doing YouTube? Oh,
definitely, a ton.
Yeah,
because there's quite a few that I went in blind or just not really knowing them at all. I think in just like the Spider-Man games I wouldn't have played otherwise. Like, I played Spider-Man 2 back in the day and Ultimate Spider-Man, but Spider-Man 3 sucked. I never would have picked up Web of Shadows otherwise. There's a ton. I think like about at least half of them I would have never played otherwise.
That's good.
Yeah, it's always kind of been a big part of it, but then I always had games to fall back on, which is what makes it kind of interesting that I don't think I have that anymore. Yeah, I think even Pokemon, I would have never played some of the more recent ones. Pokemon, Chrono Trigger I never would have played, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 I never played, would have played Mega Man, Shadow the Hedgehog, Red Steel 2 I never would have played, Resident Evil Revelations, maybe. Yeah, quite a few of these actually, really. Donkey Kong Country, never would have played that otherwise.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so going way back to the question in hand, that started as a Let's Play.
Hey.
And there'll be a side Let's Play. I was going to make a channel update, but I forgot. There'll be a side Let's Play. Maybe when's this coming out? Monday. Tomorrow. Tuesday. Maybe.
Confirmed.
I've recorded the first part, but I'm not sure if it's any good. Do you have one of those things where you just switch off your mind and just talk, and then it's like, stop record. What did I just say?
Did any of that make any sense?
Yeah, so I have yet to listen to that and see if that was worth putting up.
They usually come out okay, though.
Yeah, usually.
I have scrapped parts before, but most of the time I look back and like, hey, this does make some sort of sense.
Yeah, as long as it makes some sense. Quality control is not terribly high, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's passed.
But with part 1 of an LP anyway, it's always... You're always going to say the same...
hate it.
Oh, okay. I find them quite easy, because you're always going to say the exact same stuff with little variation, because it's all intro stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have any problems with stuff to talk about, but at the same time, I always feel really pressured into getting that stuff out of the way. And if I don't do it in a sort of semi-fluid manner, like if I'm all over the place with the introduction, I feel like people will get lost watching the videos.
Sure.
So I always have to re-record numerous times, in fact, especially for this Red Faction one, because I didn't like the way it sounded, because I wasn't saying it in the right way.
I did wonder how you managed to time all the conversations perfectly. Because with Red Dead, I could not do it. Like, I just had to accept the fact that sometimes I would just have to shut up randomly.
Yeah.
But with this, with your first part of Red Faction, it was like perfect. Like, you had said a point, you said it through, bam, right into the next conversation.
It will not be like that the whole time.
Oh.
No. I wish, but it won't.
That'd be nice.
Can we end the podcast, because my voice is going and I'm dying?
Oh, poor you. Poor Joe.
I'm trying not to cough really horribly, but I don't think I have to worry about that.
I gave that up. It's fine.
Okay, what's happening on your channel, Tom?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Joe.
Voting.
So, there's been no videos this week. Just took a bit of a break because I was busy and whatever, and just a break between LPs because Mario and Spider-Man are done. So now I got to do 2 new ones, and I already know what one of them is going to be. I already mentioned it before. It's like a game that in terms of views, it's going to do horrendously, but I think it's an interesting game. And it's a game I've never played before, so it's a bit of a new experience for me. But the other one I did a vote, and what I have to say is you bastards. You did it to me again. To you listening out there, how could you? I'm going to mention it in the first part when I record it, but pretty much, as it stands, I don't think there'll be any difference. Hold on, what's going on here then? Oh, I've gone offline. I'll finish my point anyway. But, yeah. So it's Sonic again. This is the second vote that I've done where I put a Sonic game in there and it's won, even though it's the worst game. So I'll be doing Sonic Unleashed next week, and also this other game that I don't think people will really check out. But I'm still going to enjoy it and hope people do as well, because it's kind of short. A bit like Sonic Unleashed isn't too long, apart from all the padding. Well, it looks like I've gone offline. My internet has now died, but it's the end of the podcast anyway. So I know Joe would love to say goodbye, but he doesn't have that option anymore. So yeah, I hope you guys join us next week for more podcast shenanigans. The call ended itself. But yeah, I might try and get Proto on next week or something. Maybe Cows, whoever has been the longest. Maybe do a guest appearance sort of thing. But yeah, so I've been Tom. I almost did the same intro as my LPs because I'm by myself now. I'm just rambling. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off. So we'll see you next week. Goodbye. I'm Joe. Bye bye.
Oh dear. Oh, the calls dropped, everyone. That's just happened. So if you're wondering, if Tom did not cut this bit out like a fool, if he did not edit this part out, this is what you're currently hearing, is me while Skype tries to reconnect the call, which it may have done right now. I don't know. No, it hasn't. Oh, it tried its best, but it's just given up again. So I'm gonna fill this time, because usually Tom would cut this part out, because obviously it's dead air at the moment, and he might be talking over me, what I'm saying right now, but usually I have a feeling he's quiet trying to work out what's happened to this call. So if that's the case and he forgets, at least don't have a minute or two of nothing, because I'm going to be talking like I am right now. I don't have any biscuits to talk about though, so what else could I discuss whilst we're in the middle of this Skype error? I could talk about... Oh, yeah, look, Ash has given up completely. What a disappointment. I could talk about Red Faction. Hey, why not plug my own stuff whilst the call is being managed. So yeah, Red Faction Guerrilla, really, really, at the moment, really, really fun game. It does get more difficult as the game goes along. Obviously, it's only the tutorial we're playing at the moment, but destruction abound and explosions, and I like the fact it has physics where you can strategically destroy a building if you want to. If you want to, you can just lob explosives at it. It's fine. But if you'd rather, you can carefully place an explosive in the corner of a building and then watch it fall maybe slightly that way, or take out all the supports of columns first, or maybe get a vehicle and ram straight into it. Save on explosives. Use the force of a car. It's so many options, really. What else could I talk about? Well, the storyline. That's a bit Jeff Goldblum. The storyline of the game. Oh man, Skype really doesn't want to connect anymore. What's happened to this podcast? What a shame. The story of Red Faction Guerrilla is interesting because it very much plays off of the first two games, which I have not played. All about Mars, and originally there was an evil. I don't know. There was an evil company called Ultor who basically made people slaves on Mars, and then the Earth Defense Force came along, and along with the Red Faction, they took over. They took over from Ultor, made everything better again, or so it seemed. And then, what do you know? All the power went to their heads, and now they're the bad guys. EDF, Earth Defense Force, and the Red Faction have to fight against them because they have become the slaves to EDF. Yeah, there is a bit of backstory which will be explained as we go through the game in the handbook. So I'm going to keep trying to call Tom. I think by this point he's definitely going to edit this out. So all of what I've just said now will be for nothing. Just talking to myself like an idiot. Unless Tom listens to this when he's editing. In which case enjoy that, but I don't think he will. What else can I talk about? Let's talk about I never had to fill for this long. Usually it's just a minute or two of biscuit talk, but this is longer than that. Let's talk about Minecon, because Minecon's going to be interesting. It's coming up soon, just over a month away. Well, no, month and a half, and that is a Minecraft convention, which is going to be full of 10-year-old kids. So actually, going back to what Tom and I were talking about earlier on the podcast about feeling your age, that's going to make me feel very old and childish, being surrounded by little kids, because Minecraft is a big game for little kids. It is. There's no bones about it. It is for little kids. Well, maybe not 4, but that's the market that has dominated it. And I'm going to go there with other people from the JSON fan server, and there are going to be mums and dads and little kids with their little creepers and little zombies and Steves. And I'm going to be there just as a 22-year-old male looking around thinking, why? But no, really, I'm joking, of course. It's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. I do hope it will be a good convention. The past few Minecons have not been, or apparently have not been very good. I haven't been. I've watched a few live streams from them. I'm not quite sure what they can do to make it spectacular in a way, because Minecraft has, it may not seem like it, but Minecraft has kind of shrank a bit, size-wise. On YouTube and in the culture, but especially on YouTube, people, big YouTubers who their channels were based around Minecraft, they have said that they've seen their videos decrease in views over the past year. It's definitely a thing that's slowly happening. Definitely, and it's going to be tricky to bloat up Minecon to such a size where it's going to be impressive. I think so, anyway. But that's why if I was going on my own, which I never do, I would probably be disappointed. But the fact that it'll be my first sort of internet-based meetup is intriguing. Man, it really does not want to connect to Tom. That's such a shame. I've said that before, but it really is a shame because we were so close to ending the podcast. Just, 5 more minutes would have been enough. If that. And yet here we are. I need to eat dinner as well, people. I need to eat dinner. It's 10 past bloody... What is the time? 11. I need some food. So... I shall sigh some more, shall I? I'm hungry. Don't mind me, I'm just checking Twitter. Oh crap. I'm supposed to be filling, aren't I? Yes. Filling the air. Well, I've spoken about Michael. I've spoken about Red Faction. Let's talk about Lego. Because yes, Lego Simpsons Series 2 has come out with a few more Simpsons characters. Am I going to get them? No, I'm not, because they're expensive. And I don't have the discount I used to have when buying the Series 1. That being said, as we discussed on the podcast, I will get the dimensions, possibly, if they're not very expensive. Because in the past, I've said about how cool it would be for a Lego Simpsons game. It's just easy to imagine, and it's good that it's finally come about, if only as a part of another game. It's still good it exists. I'm trying to call Tom again. Let's see if it works. I really think by this point he would have stopped his recording. I don't know why I haven't stopped my recording yet, because it's not going to use this part. I'm really just talking to myself here. How depressing is that? Yeah. But it's good that it's failed again. It's good that the podcast has been going for so long. I definitely didn't think it would go for this long. When I first did that episode, way back, 2013. It's very impressive in a way. I mean, it's not a massive podcast by any means, on YouTube, but it's fairly consistent, and it's a thing of its own. It exists, and I'm not sure what I'm trying to say about the podcast, but it's still fun to do. Oh man, there's been a lot, isn't there? I'm just looking back now. Oldest to newest, episode 1, all the way back in March 2013. That's right. And my first one was episode 6, and that was back in April 2013. Yeah, wow. Ooh. That's kind of funny, isn't it? Like a little diary. A little diary of whatever. Oh yeah, look there. Episode 38 has a picture of Alien Isolation, which must have been way before it came out. I wonder what we said about it. I wonder. Yeah, it's really useful that Tom put these images on, because that way you can just work out what it's about. So that one's Last of Us. That one must have been about Batman and Robin, because I could see Mr. Freeze. I used to see you. That one's got catsup and ketchup in it. Oh wow, what was that one about? Catsup? Ketchup? Catsup? Ketchup? I'll try and call Tom again, but it won't work. I'm just looking through more of them. That one's got a picture of Wait, what is that? What is that? Bloody Skype. Oh, that was when the Bash Bandicoot, the Crash Bandicoot rumours came out. Oh, and nothing ever happened of them. Hindsight is a terrible, terrible thing, isn't it? Very sad thing. GTA. Zombie U. Bond. Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Such old stuff. E3. Massive amounts on E3. Yeah. Wario. Star Wars. Star Wars. Ah, I wonder what we said about Star Wars. Oh no, it was about EA publishing Star Wars games, not about The Force Awakens. I can only imagine that Tom's internet is cut out, which means that may be the end of the podcast. I'd like to thank you for joining me for the end of this podcast, which has just been me talking to myself like a madman, a hungry madman. But I think I will end off this recording. And that will be the end of it. What a shame. So, no Tom, but just from me. Thanks for listening to the podcast. This imaginary end of the podcast. And we'll see you next time.